And another rider in the top 8 during this session, Max Whale, who had a really standout performance last night.
Career night, yeah. Getting up to 4th place, his best finish, but it's Brandon Robinson again on top of the board. Takes a look up at the screen there, sees that he's P1, almost an identical lap time to what he was able to do in free practice. So they're feeling good. We actually ate breakfast with Ben Evans, his crew chief, and Cale Kolkman, his suspension tech, this morning, and they were in a good mood.
You know, I had a conversation with Brandon earlier, and we were talking about how meaningful a win would be on this bike because he was a part of the original development group with the Harley-Davidson XG750, and he said, I am not okay if I don't get a win this season. He said, well, I have to accept it, of course, but he said, I am not okay. He's really looking for that win, and when you look at the season, he told me, I'm not a TT rider. I may not be capable of getting a TT win. So we have 4 remaining races where he feels comfortable and potentially confident in taking a win, and one of those races is here tonight, so he has 4 more shots to get that bike to the top step of the podium.
Yeah, and I think here at the Sturgis Jackpine Gypsy short track, this could allow for a rider like Brandon to sneak in, but also Davis Fisher. Why not him? James Ott, we've seen how good he's been this year.
And they have been trying to get that bike to work for Davis. Jimmy Wood today, he said, we're just trying to get the bike more stable. He said, we're changing the bike geometry, we're trying to get better traction, we're changing the gearing. They're just throwing everything they can at that bike to get it better for Davis and get him more comfortable, because last night that bike was dancing around.
Yeah, with Brandon, he's got to be getting a little frustrated that these two have, Breyer and Dallas, are the only ones with wins, because Brandon at Sonoy was so close to Bromley. Bender goes by there, maybe a little bit of an issue on the left side of that motorcycle. Not
Bender
sure
had a rough night last night as well.
Tough. The big crash and then getting connected with Davis there. Again, so crashed twice in one main event.
Looking at Dan Bromley on the Suzuki, something we probably don't talk about enough. He is the only rider on a yellow bike out there this season. No notes, no factory support. He just chose the Suzuki and decided to take it for a run this year. Looking at the screen, Declan Bender. Let's go to the FloRacing replay. Let's watch this bad boy, Dan Bromley.
Let's see what happens here. Why Dan Bromley pulls off the track. Nothing looks out of shape yet. Gets a little bit sideways there.
Oh, he gets really sad. His body. And you know, when you're so tall and you throw that much weight to the side of the bike, it's easy to fishtail, right?
Yeah, he gets so sideways there, and he uses his body to try to get the bike to continue turning, because it is a really tight short track here, so you do want to make sure. We've seen a lot of these riders get up onto that front straightaway wall. Bromley will finish the session off, but it's going to be Brandon Robinson.
Still top of the boards?
Yeah, exactly. Finishing out this first session on top of the boards, followed by Breyer Baum and then Dallas Daniels. 2
Harleys with the fastest lap time. I'm going to go ahead and toss it back over to Scotty Dubler, and I'm going to pop out and see what's going on, see what adjustments these guys are making as we look at Dalton Gauthier patiently waiting to hit the track.
Well, thanks, KB. I appreciate you coming in here.
It's been
Spiced
fun.
It up.
You know what? It's been hot outside. I'm gonna go back out there and return to my role as a sideline reporter, but it has been so fun hosting in here with you.
Thank you so much, KB.
Scotty, it's your turn. Come on in, buddy. Join the booth. He's got his sunglasses on, y'all. Okay, we'll see you guys later on Fox Sports 1. Bye. Bye. So much fun.
And here we go, getting ready. We've got the AFT Singles heading to the track now, getting lined up. They're going to get a practice start here. This is their first qualifying session coming up. Scotty, welcome back.
Well, it's good to be back. I don't know.
Well, you got Sam Drain in there for me yesterday, so I got KB in here for you today.
It's all good. I just I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not talking about the races. I was like, I'm sitting there like, okay.
I heard you out there just talking to yourself.
I have to keep in practice.
Exactly.
You write down the last one?
Yeah. It's almost identical.
Robinson?
13081 from Robinson.
All right. Singles are on the racetrack. That means single-cylinder motorcycles for you brand new fans out there. That's the 59. Our points leader, Tom Drain, on the Stetson Yamaha, showing the way. That's because he's our points leader. That's why he went out first. AFT Singles class on the track. First round of qualifying.
First round, we messed it up yesterday. We got outside of our schedule, our normal schedule.
Our normal schedule was a little bit different yesterday, and there's Chase Sadoff, last night's winner on the 88 bike, and
they did a great job gaming the system last night, not winning the first one, the second one just fine, showing up for the triple points one and grabbing it.
And he was sitting 4th going into that last one, and when you added up the points with your Arizona State mathematics skills.
Mathematically just able to grab the win and have control of it, where it didn't matter if Tom got second or third, he still was able to win.
Look at this. Cage Tadman up to second quick so far here in qualifying. Cage ended up third overall last night with a 4.23. So he's not bothered by this short track at all.
No, and there's the 21. We saw him win that first main, and he looked so good early on yesterday. Not able to seal the deal, so let's see if they're able to make adjustments. The track's different, so I mean, look at the blue groove. It's already taken a lot more rubber. The sun's out really bright right now, Scotty. Look how dry it is in certain spots.
Well, they will be able to work on the racetrack a little bit later on, but I think it will groove up, especially with these longer races later on this evening. I think there'll be a blue groove in both of the main events.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to pass. It's going to be tougher to pass tonight with that blue groove than I would guess last night, and we saw how low Briar Bauman had to go to get by the inside of Dallas Daniels, so
again, only one round of qualifying, one round of practice. This is qualifying. Up next is group number 2 of your AFT Singles presented by Kicker. And speaking of Kicker, Kicker Performance Audio up there on top of the hill. Go see Mad Dog and see the latest and greatest from Kicker. We're using Kicker speakers throughout the facility out here to help, get as much sound up there to those grandstands as we can. We appreciate all the help from Kicker Performance Audio based out of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Those are some good seats right there.
Yeah, they brought their own lawn chairs sitting right there on top of that concrete wall.
I think I see Fast Eddie.
No way. He's sitting in turn number 4. Turn number 3, actually. Group number 2, again, they get a little practice start right here, and you got to take full advantage of that. And the looks like the 100 jumps out first. That's Walker Porter. This is his rookie season.
Tough night last night for Walker Porter, kind of going through some rookie struggles there. Ended up fast qualifying, but wasn't able to seal the deal. It was just an odd turn of event. I mean, it's rookie racing on a short track, but we've known Walker is such a good short track racer his entire career, so
he didn't even end up in the top 10 overall. So that's you got to be pretty disappointed with that. He's going to try to rebound here tonight. Again, these riders in this particular class, they go by point standings, how they get to come onto the racetrack. You've been from fans know all about that. I'm talking to the new fans since we're up here at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and races. We probably have a lot of new fans in the grandstands already.
Yeah, and then we're at the 85th rally, and how about 2 Harley Davidsons? First and second in that SuperTwins qualifying. Well, me and Kristen were in here talking about it. That's something special.
It's impressive, especially on a new bike for Briar Bauman. Brandon's ridden those bikes, a few years back, but for a first year, get back with Dave Zanotti, Michelle DeSalvo looking really strong. Taking a look at Walker Porter right here, the 100 bike. He's got his left foot up and over that inside dirt berm, and it gets a little bit sideways, and he keeps the hammer on. Did a good job. Nice recovery.
Yeah, just catching a little bit too much grip there at certain parts. He's not, you see how easy he's being on the gas throughout there. He doesn't have the back tire spinning to get over that, and Briar did such a good job in doing that, making sure you could really see Bauman getting on the gas very hard in the apex to get that back tire spinning to get over those bumps, where Walker, see the throttle control that he's got there, really waiting until he's pointed the way he wants to go before he starts to roll onto the gas. He's focusing solely on getting grip, getting traction down the straightaways.
It looks like he's got a big dent right there in that exhaust pipe. I don't know if that is on purpose or if he ran into somebody or something else last night, but I don't know if that's affecting the airflow, but I saw it right near the end right there behind his foot peg. Looked like the 31 needed to slow down just a little bit. He was going a little bit too wide in some of those corners. Evan Keller on the 31. Here's qualifying at number 1. Right now it's Tom Drain. We got a Yamaha, KTM, Husqvarna, and a Honda. 4 brands in the top 4 spots. Last night's winner qualifies in there at 4th. Well, we got a little different discrepancy here on our screen up above and down below. So this is what we're looking at. Tom Drain, 13.190. So we'll have to get that thing sorted out right now.
Let's see, that's got it. Yeah, you were talking about how he might have had a dent. I've got a brand new Coleco pipe on one of my bikes, and I put it up on a stand that wasn't meant for that bike, and I put a nice dent into it.
Oh my gosh!
Such a smack
Coley's
face
here.
move.
You can probably get that thing fixed.
Can't afford it.
All right.
Now that I'm not a racer, just like no budget.
You change your priorities with your money because you're getting married the weekend after Springfield. So, you can afford it. Not right now.
Exactly.
You have a wedding to plan, and your fiance is at home getting all that finalized right now.
Yeah. You can afford what the priorities are.
And priority right now is marriage.
And I've ridden like 1 time since I retired last, so I don't think I need to get it fixed.
Since you retired last, that means there's going to be a comeback?
No.
Okay, that kind of insinuated it right there.
No.
Henry Wiles on the 911.
We're making a comeback tomorrow.
Yeah,
in the Black Hills.
We're hopping back on the
burning that
bikes.
up, yeah.
We might even stop by and pick up Kristen Beat.
Yeah, we're gonna.
All right.
Throw on the back of your Harley, and we're off to the races. Henry Wiles. 9-11. Had that issue last night, Scotty. What was it again that happened to him?
We thought the bike broke, but I guess the bike went into a false neutral or into a neutral, and he could not get the bike shifted. He stopped on the back straightaway almost on that last lap and finally kicked it down into a gear, got it into gear somehow, and finished up 5th. But he was running up there in the top 3 spots.
Yeah, he put it in the going home gear like Fast Eddie likes to say.
That's one of my favorite riders all time right there, the 164, Danny Eslick. Eslick is awesome.
Very nice guy, too, if you've never met him. He's very personable. We'll talk to pretty much anybody throughout the pit area if you want to go up to him today, if you're here in person at Sturgis. Yeah, if you've never met Danny Eslick, highly recommend going.
He's hilarious. You know, he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Good old boy.
I've grown up. I've watched him since he was a little kid. He rode with us to Peoria one time. I think he was 12 years old, and man, we laughed all the way there and all the way home. And we couldn't find him when we went to pick him up. He was riding his bicycle off the roof of a house into a swimming pool.
This doesn't surprise me.
Right. How about Luzak?
Yeah,
quick time.
Got him on the screen. Andy's top of the board right now, and he's one of the only racers here. Him and Posh and Eslick, those are the 3 racers here that are solely focusing on this one. Mishler is 2, but last night he raced the singles. But those 4 riders tonight only racing the adventure tracker class.
That's impressive for Austin Luzak, the 188. That's a Honda Transalp, correct?
Yeah, it is, and he was one of the guys looking for gearing as we have a replay here. Really focus in on the suspension, going over those bumps. Watch it working.
It actually looked like the front fairing almost hit the front fender. That's how much he's soaking up the bumps right now with that big Honda.
So one thing with the suspension on these bikes is it's not lowered down at all. Like all the 450s in the SuperTwins here today, the AFT Singles and the SuperTwins, they're all lowered down suspensions. So they don't have as much travel as these bigger bikes, although very heavy. So I'm not going to say that that's a benefit, but they do have that availability.
Wouldn't you try to cinch them down somehow, like squat them down as low as you can?
I don't know. It looked like pretty good.
Yeah, they're working right now. We are out here in the beautiful Black Hills. Qualifying round number 1 is in the books right here at the Jackpine Gypsy Short Track. Don't forget to get your back on track raffle tickets. I got a brand new Nikki Hayden reset helmet they're going to be raffling off a little bit later on. Stop by that souvenir stand, grab something to eat or drink. When we come back, it'll be round number 2 of qualifying right here from the beautiful Jackpine Gypsy Short Track.
Feel the race everywhere you stand, thanks to Kicker Audio, bringing the sound to the people with 20 Marine Audio Tower speakers around the venue. Kicker, living loud.
Before the celebration, before the victory lap, before every turn, every jump, and close call, machines and equipment from the Cat Rental Store build the track where the action unfolds. And because your race day means so much to us, we want you to be the first to know what's next. More locations, fresh look, expanded fleet, better coverage. Get ready for the Cat Rental Store's new start.
Win every race with VP Racing. Designed specifically for moto and power sports applications, VP's wide line of race fuels, lubricants, coolants, and additives give you the power and performance you need to win every lap and every race. Check out their championship-winning products today at vpracingfuels.com. Freedom on the road starts with the right coverage. That's why so many riders depend on Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Visit Progressive.com to customize your policy and get great coverage, low rates, and a quote in just 3 minutes.
Welcome back to the Jackpine Gypsies short track night number 2 out here in the beautiful Black Hills, Sturgis, South Dakota. Colby, we got a completely different racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, completely different racetrack, a lot smoother, in a way a lot more grip right now. It looks like these guys are getting all they need.
And all 3 classes too. The adventure trackers are fast as well.
Yeah, the adventure trackers are only 1.1-ish seconds off a lap. Luzak is, and Luzak doing good. We got a correction, actually. It is a Africa twin, we got told.
African twin. Yep, I said Transalp. Well, that Transalp is what the 48's riding in the SuperTwins class.
Exactly.
A little bit different engine size.
Over there,
So,
you see that canyon we're going to be riding just to the north there?
Yeah.
I guess that'd be south from here,
yeah.
but the way we're looking at it.
So where we went after breakfast was one of the most cool experiences you've had out here this trip, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So let's take a look at my buddy Denny Cannonberg's man cave. It's in a secret location, but just look at all the history, and Denny knows everything about everything that is in this spot right here. This is from a year or 2 ago, but man, how cool is it, Colby?
Yeah, and I think it inspired me. I think I want to start collecting some old oil cans or some old beer cans that he's got hung up on the wall. I think those are so neat, and he's got so many of them.
Look at all those
number
right
plates.
There. Yeah. Those are all old cans. In the secret little compartment room over here.
That's where I had some of the older beer cans that are pretty neat.
Yeah. So again, he can talk to you through all these pictures. That was a 1938 Indian, if I remember right, maybe 36 Indian. The Cannonbergs, good family friends of ours for as long as I've been around, and even longer. But they own the world's largest motorcycle salvage yard in Minnesota. It's called Sport Wheels. It's family owned and operated. Look at that, Santa Fe Speedway. Have you ever heard of that place? And it was in Chicago, and like I think brought up a Cicero Road, if I'm not mistaken. But they used to race there every Wednesday night. They used to have nationals there too.
Yeah, and then he talked about how they used to race half miles every Wednesday
in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's Denny out in front on the number 20J bike.
That guy on the back standing up on the thing, 72.
He's
looks
up
like Cage Tadman
last night. He's up out of the saddle.
That was Cage Tadman.
There's Bart Martell, the number 4 right there.
Yeah, no, it was so cool, and just there's so much energy that I felt when I walked into that place, and even just the smell of the wood, and the interior design that he did to make everything put in a certain spot, and it just looks so good.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite bikes. That bike he just showed, that's the bike that happened at a different race. I thought that was at Peoria, but I was mistaken.
It's Lincoln.
It was at Lincoln, yeah, exactly.
Lincoln, Illinois, just down the road from Peoria.
Right. So cool. Look at all this cool stuff. There's one of my heroes right there, Bubba Schobert. Look how crossed up he is right there. That's on a mile racetrack, if I'm not mistaken, too. Yep, here's the first time they came out here. So they had a motorcycle show inside the Sturgis Armory. Well, then they started selling stuff in there, and Denny was one of the first guys to actually sell Sturgis motorcycle rally T-shirts. All these different steel shoes. He still has his very own first Ken Maley shoe. It's over on the left, just outside of there. But man, it's so cool that Denny got to take you and Sammy Saavedra and all the folks that are staying with us up at the cabin to give us a quick tour through there.
Yeah, so much pride in that. That was really fun to see, as I think we're going to start getting bikes back on the track. But I'm so grateful for you to be able to introduce me to someone like that.
Motorcycles are back on track. It's qualifying round number 2, final round, and you need to finish in the top 8 spots to get on the front row of a heat race.
Yeah, different than yesterday.
There's the 3 bike of
2
Briar
heat
Bauman.
races.
Yeah, 2 heat races tonight. Briar Bauman out there in the number 3 Harley Davidson. Dallas Daniels on the Yamaha. 44 is Robinson. He's also on a Harley Davidson. He was looking good in that first qualifying session. Davis Fisher back there, the 67 on the KTM. Also out there, the 20 Jared Vanderkoy on the KTM. 19 James Ott on your old ride. That's the G&G Yamaha. 48 Trent Lowe on the Honda Transalp. Number 48, the 18 Max Whale had a great night last night in that Royal Enfield.
Yeah, his best finish, getting up there into 4th, just missing out on the podium. Brandon Robinson, though, riding really well so far today and able to get back on the podium last night.
So Wales a little bit off here tonight so far, but again, a completely different track. So you got to make the changes and adapt to the racetrack and make your motorcycle adapt to the racetrack as well.
I'd say tonight's more of a traditional flat track racetrack, just because yesterday was you got to be so aggressive and careful at the same time because of how rough it was with all the soft spots that were running up, and the bike could move around on you at any point. So tonight, more predictability in what the racetrack's going to do.
13.1 for Brandon Robinson. Quick time here in this round. Quick time in the first round in qualifying number 1 was also Brandon Robinson, 13.081. So that's the time to beat right now. So they're a little bit slower as the white flag comes out. It's 4 quick laps around here, man. It goes so fast.
So fast in this one. They're going to be doing probably 37 laps tonight in this main event. So that is not going to be a quick one, but Brandon Robinson looks like he might be taking this one home, Scotty.
Yeah, he's quick time in the first round and quick time here in the second round. That 44 bike there, feeling good. I heard you talking with Kristen about how we sat with Ben Evans and Cale Kolkman, and they feel like they're dialed in, that 44 bike. His quick time in this round was a 13.152. 13.152 for the 44 bike. So he's fastest in both, or the first practice session fastest so far in both qualifying sessions. We have one more group in the Mission AFT Super Twins class, and see if anybody else can beat that time. 62, Dan Bromley, he's on the Suzuki. 14, Logan McGrain on a KTM. 70, Declan Bender on a Yamaha. 91, Justin Jones on a KTM. 911, Henry Wiles on a Yamaha. The 11, Daniel Poole on a Kawasaki. The 47, Michael Hill on a Yamaha. On the 50 bike, that's J-Mac, Jimmy McAllister, and he is on a Yamaha. Last group of qualifying for your Mission AFT Super Twins.
It is interesting to see these riders that can excel on a track like last night, and then they come to a track like today, and they're just a little bit off the pace.
It's
so much variability.
You wonder if it's the bike or if it's the rider, or if they're just not getting warmed up yet. You know,
I think it's a mix of both. Yeah, I think, like you said, it's rider and bike, and sometimes riders feel comfortable. I always felt really comfortable on a track that was kind of rougher and a little bit nasty in a way. I always felt good. Maybe that didn't work out for me a few times.
A couple times, couple crashes. Watch out, number 50. J-Mac went up there and touched the back straightaway wall real quick. This track has changed a few different times. It actually was further up towards the interstate. They had to move it when they widened the service road. They scooted it over. The dirt color, the dirt surface is a little bit different than when I raced here. It was a real bright red dirt. And actually, the start-finish line was on the opposite side as well, over here on the side where we're at, which is the pit side. It used to be the starting-finish line.
Dan Brownlee's looking pretty smooth out there. He had a really good line through 1 and 2 there, where he's able to get the thing turn and stick right on the bottom as he pops up to 8th in this one. But
you know, if you're 4 on the front row and 4 on this row, so that means the 9th starting spot's gonna be inside of row number 2. That might be a good spot, but I don't think I'd be trying to qualify 9th.
No, and we saw how good the second row first spot was last night. You could almost hole shot from there. You could easily come out at turn 2 in 2nd place, which kind of sounds crazy. But on the short track, the rows are a little bit more pushed together. And Declan Bender, we talked about it, a little bit rough night last night.
Yeah, he ends up 9th in this round right now. The 70 bike looks like he's going to be 9th overall. Declan Bender hit the ground a couple different times, and he's still fairly new to this team. They're trying to get each other figured out, and communication between yourself and the mechanic, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, and another rider that's doing a bit better tonight is James Ott, running in 7th in qualifying here. And they just couldn't jive with how the track was rough last night. They couldn't get that bike set up to how James needed to ride it.
And we both, thought he could possibly get a win, especially in the triple challenge race format we had last night, and get a whole shot and hang on to it. But here's qualifying round number 2. Again, the 2 Harley Davidsons up there at the top, and they were both fastest in the first round and both fastest here in the second round. So Robinson will be the fast time. Harley Davidsons will be on the pole of both heat races in the Mission Super Twins, with Robinson a 13.152 in this one. His fastest time, though, was a 13.081. Breyer was second quick in this round. Dallas Daniels, Davis Fisher, Trent Lowe, James Ott, as the AFT Singles class rolls onto the racetrack for their final qualifying session. Chase Setoff says, I'm going to lead this one on the 88 bike. That is last night's winner. Yeah, the other side of the truck brings up a very good point, Colby, that it seems like when these singles riders jump out there, they act like they're racing right now. And this is qualifying.
This is what we do. I remember this. They're all still young kids, and they just want to go every time they're on the racetrack. Even going through the pits, they're ready to race.
But do you want to race against each other? Don't you want to get spread out and get a good qualifying lap?
Well, I do.
All right. Well, yeah, because you're old.
I know. See, I know a little bit now as we watch Chase Setoff going to the corner, watch that front end suspension. Look at that, turning down,
really
scrubbing the front end.
Yeah.
Chase Setoff feeling good. What they were able to do last night, Bigelow and the team, Mark Muth and the whole entire team there, making the bike work when it needed to in that last main event.
So last night, before the races started, Chase and I and the whole team, and I went over there and said, okay, so if you win, who's getting the victory lap? And they said, Mark Muth. And he went up there, won it. That's who got the victory lap. And now we got a plan for who's getting the victory lap tonight, but I'm not going to spoil that just yet.
Yeah, the track's definitely slowed down a lot. Both bikes wheeling up there, grabbing the same area on the racetrack, a soft spot there. but the track has slowed down significantly since qualifying one. Chase Sadoff decides to grab the wall there in that one.
Bounced off the wall just a little bit.
This is like what we saw last night, though. Sadoff running just a few feet higher than Drain.
You think he'll continue to do that? They're just trying to widen out the groove a little bit?
There's moisture up there where Sadoff's riding in the corners, just more consistency.
How about Renshaw just off the pace again? He gets lapped in qualifying once again. Just Renshaw, the 65, struggling a little bit.
That's frustrating. Yeah, right here we'll see both these guys wheelie off the corner. They both hit a soft spot right there. Both pull the front ends up slightly.
But they both stay on the throttle. Look at all the black, or rubber going down. Wow, Chase really picked up the front end, and to pick the front end again. And now here comes that concrete wall and kind of bounces off of it. Ride the wall.
You see how he's got his body up so far over on the seat to try to push the bike down to turn it as best he can.
Maybe he's going to try for X Games next year.
Quarter pipe?
Man, why not? Here comes group number 2, AFT Singles presented by Kicker Class. The time to beat, 13.190, but the track is about a half a second slower in this round than it was in the last round because the moisture has left the premier groove down there on the very bottom. Kelleher was trying a little bit too hard, I think, in that last round. Did he just reach up there and downshift? It looked like Colby.
No, I'm not sure. I'll have to watch here. But I was just thinking about how it's so frustrating when you do go out here and put in a really good lap time, in your opinion, and you made a good adjustment to the bike, and you're feeling like, say you qualify in second in this one, well, it's not worth that much, unfortunately, because the first session is so much faster. So these guys are fighting against that right now.
So you still want to have a good qualifying effort to try to up where you finished in the last round, but if the track slows down a little bit, your times are going to slow down no matter what. So the 31, Evan Kelleher out front. Here's Dalton Gauthier, the 79, getting by the 100 of Walker Porter. Porter back there in 20th right now.
Yeah, it's just, it's got to be very frustrating for him. Coming in, we've seen guys before fast qualify at like a Daytona short track and not even make the main event. In Walker Porter, it's not quite that bad of a situation, but it's got to be extremely frustrating from the fast qualify yesterday and then struggle so much, and then today not starting off on the right foot.
Keep an eye on 79, Dalton Gauthier. He's originally from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, lives down in Pensacola, Florida. As Big P brings that white flag out. One more lap to go in our qualifying session for your AFT Singles class. Do you like those leathers that Daltons wear? They're a little bit thinner, like
Kevlar, yeah. So it's a Kevlar NJK suit. Yeah, no, they're really nice. I have a top. Yeah, I've got the top. They're really comfortable. Yeah, the track's tricky right now. There's definitely some really dry spots where it's slippery, and then there's some spots that still has a ton of moisture, and it's like that really soft clay. So these guys are fighting with it, trying to figure out exactly what to do and where to ride, Scotty.
Definitely trying to figure out the fastest way around. Right now, it's Tom Drain, quickest in both sessions. Quick time in the first session was actually 13.190. Second session, right here it is, 13.683. Cage Tadman, the rookie, up there second quick, 13.728. He was also second quick in the first round. Aiden Rusev has had a up and a down night last night, end up on the ground in turn number 1. He qualifies in third here in this session. 7th overall. Chase Sadoff is 4th in this session, and he is 4th overall. And Trevor Bruner, 5th overall in that 21 bike.
So far today, we've had Tom Drain fastest in all 3 sessions, along with Brandon Robinson fastest in all 3 sessions of his.
Let me back up a little bit. It looks like Trevor Bruner is actually 8th overall, but 5th in this session. So, like you said, the track changes. Got to keep up with the changes.
Luckily, though, good enough for him to be front row.
That's true. Up next is the Adventure Tracker class, I believe. They're getting set to go. They've got their helmets on. A couple of the bikes are sitting over there in the staging area. Folks are just now filing in to the Jackpine Gypsies short track, the club grounds. And here comes the Adventure Trackers.
Heard that Vance and Hines pipe. Thing sounds good. That bike sounds really good.
911 Henry Wiles was on the rev limiter, about the start finish line. Like you said, they're having trouble getting those things geared.
Yeah, and it won't be that bad. It'll be still struggle a little bit on Friday, but it won't be quite as bad because you're going to be doing so much more shifting on the TT. Where in this, it's the same thing every straightaway.
Yeah, you don't have time actually to shift up or downshift, and there's just not enough on this tight little short track.
Yeah,
it is a 6th mile. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about that. And you can't really shift these bikes well either because they don't have slipper clutches. You can put a slipper clutch into them, but again, most of these guys picking up these bikes this week, so when you downshift without that slipper clutch, it's going to chatter. The back end's going to do a little bit of a hop, and that will completely upset your lap.
And we've been saying it's a new class. They ran this class also in the downtown, in streets of the TT last year, but it is new this season. Again, a lot of these riders weren't with us in this class.
The only one that I believe did it was the 62 with Dan Bromley.
Yeah, he almost won the thing, except for his kickstand sensor, whatever it tells the bike to shut off if your kickstand is down.
Yeah. Now they got
that taken care of.
Yeah, they put a relay in there and took care of that this year. But right now, that's the guy that's currently leading, Dan Bromley.
He's actually fastest. He's actually faster than Luzak. Luzak was fastest in the first round with the 1:4.255. Right now, it is Bromley at the 1:4.243. Bromley is the quick time on that number 62 Suzuki. There is Luzak, the 1:88. Again, that's the Africa twin.
Yeah, Luzak's going to have to try to put a lap together to get him back to fast qualifying position.
I don't think he's that worried about it because he's in the main and, be on that front row.
It's just cool, Scott.
I know, you want to be fast qualifier.
Especially for a guy like Luzak that's not out here racing multiple times.
There's JJ, number 33. Jesse Janish won here last night. He's looking for the times over there. He said, come on, show me my times. I want to see them. Jesse Janish, man, he is a character. A lot of fun. All right. Practice and qualifying is all done. We have the open pit area. Come on down to the pits and meet your favorite rider. Stop by, get a souvenir t-shirt, grab something to get autographed. The pit party is going on right now until 8 o'clock, so it is open right now. Come on down. Opening ceremonies are at 8 o'clock. That is Mountain Standard Time. Don't forget to get your raffle tickets from Back on Track. Somebody's going to win a brand new Arai helmet. Thanks to Arai Helmets for everything that they do for us at Progressive American Flat Track and for Back on Track. For you folks that want to sit back and watch that big screen, we're so some encore presentations of some former or earlier races, and it is break time for everybody else. We'll see you guys at 8 o'clock in just a little bit.
From the paddock to the grandstands, Kicker Audio turns race day into a living loud experience with 20 Marine Audio Tower speakers surrounding the crowd. Kicker, bringing the sound of the people. From marine to power sports, car and motorcycle, Kicker has you covered.
Triumph is proud to have its Tiger 900 competing in the AFT Adventure Tracker Series. The Triumph Tiger family of motorcycles are ready for any adventure. To try a Tiger for yourself, find a Triumph demo event near you at triumph.ontour.com.
The founder of Arai Helmet was the man who created the first motorcycle helmet in Japan to protect his own head. And as a result, launched the Japanese motorcycle helmet industry. Arai focuses on glancing off performance, accumulating small differences decade after decade to further rider protection.
Back on Track, a Rookies of 79 501c3 charity, was established in 2009 by former racers to help injured racers get back on the racetrack or the track of life. Assistance is provided to injured racers through our posted schedule of benefits and special fundraising programs, where 100% of your donation goes directly to ease the financial burden from an injury sustained on the racetrack. Check us out on the web at backontrack.com and donate today. Every donation is tax deductible and will make a difference in an injured racer's life. Kicker Performance Audio is your fuel for living loud and a proud supporter of American